A man was found dead inside a locked room. The door was locked from the inside. The windows were sealed. There were no footprints outside, no sign of forced entry, no weapon in the room, and yet, he did not die naturally. So tell me, how does someone get murdered in a room no one could enter? Tonight, we uncover the truth. Story begins. It was a cold evening in London when Inspector Daniel Hart received a strange call. A wealthy businessman, Mr. Edward Blackwood, had been found dead inside his private study. At first, it seemed like a heart attack, but something felt wrong, very wrong. When Inspector Hart arrived at the Blackwood mansion, the atmosphere was tense. Servants stood quietly in the hallway. The air felt heavy. Mr. Blackwood's study was on the second floor. The door was locked from the inside. His butler had broken the door open after receiving no response for hours. Inside, Mr. Blackwood sat in his chair near the fireplace. His face showed fear, not pain, fear. The room Inspector Hart carefully examined the study. One heavy wooden door, two tall windows, both windows locked from the inside, curtains undisturbed, no broken glass, no secret passage, no weapon, no signs of struggle. On the desk, there was a half-written letter. The last line read, "They know." And then, nothing. The pen had dropped to the floor. The first theory police assumed poisoning, but there was no glass, no food, no bottle, nothing suspicious. Doctor's report said something shocking. Mr. Blackwood had suffered extreme stress before dying. His heart stopped suddenly. But what caused the fear? The suspect's 3 people had access to the mansion that night. The butler, Thomas Reed, Mr. Blackwood's business partner, Charles Bennett, his niece, Clara Blackwood. All 3 claimed they were downstairs at dinner. All 3 said they heard nothing unusual, but someone was lying. Timeline problem. The study clock had stopped at 9:17 p.m. Dinner started at 8:30 p.m. At 9:30 p.m., the butler noticed Mr. Blackwood had not returned. They waited. At 10 p.m., they broke the door. So death happened between 8:45 and 9:15 p.m. But no one left the dining room during that time, or so they claimed. The small detail Inspector Hart walked toward the fireplace. There was ash, but Mr. Blackwood was not a smoker. Inside the ash, there was something unusual, a small piece of burnt paper. Only 2 words remained visible. Midnight meeting. Hart's eyes narrowed. Clara's secret. Later that evening, Inspector Hart questioned Clara privately. She seemed nervous. She admitted something. Her uncle had recently received threatening letters warning him to stay silent. But silent about what? Clara didn't know. Or perhaps she did. The locked door mystery Inspector Hart returned to the study. He closed the broken door carefully. Then he examined the key. The key was still inside the lock, on the inside, which meant no one locked it from outside, unless the key had been turned, using something thin, something flexible. Hart examined the keyhole closely. There were tiny scratches around it, very small, almost invisible. The thread. On the floor near the door, he found something else, a thin black thread, almost invisible against the carpet. Inspector Hart smiled slowly. The trick, the killer had tied a thin thread to the key inside the room before leaving. The door was pulled shut. Then from outside, using the thread under the door gap, the killer turned the key from inside. After locking it, they gently pulled the thread out. The scratches around the keyhole were from the thread rubbing against the metal. It was clever, very clever, but not perfect. Who did it? Inspector Hart gathered everyone in the living room. He explained the trick calmly. Then he looked directly at Charles Bennett, the business partner. Bennett's face turned pale. Earlier that evening, he had argued privately with Mr. Blackwood in the study. Servants confirmed raised voices. Bennett had secretly returned later. He used the thread trick. But why? The motive: Mr. Blackwood had discovered something: financial fraud. His business partner had been stealing money for years. The half-written letter was meant for the police. They know. Blackwood had realized he was in danger, and Bennett panicked. He confronted him, threatened him. Blackwood, already weak-hearted, suffered a fatal cardiac arrest from extreme fear. It was not direct murder by weapon. It was murder by terror. The ending: Bennett tried to deny it, but when Inspector Hart showed him the matching black thread from his coat lining, he broke. He confessed. "I didn't mean to kill him," Bennett whispered. "I just wanted to scare him." But fear can be a weapon, and that night, it was deadly. Closing line: retention hook for series. Inspector Hart stood outside the mansion as the police carriage drove away. Another mystery solved, but as he walked into the foggy London night, he couldn't stop thinking about the burned note. Midnight meeting. What had Mr. Blackwood truly discovered, and who else was involved? Some mysteries do not end with one arrest. Inspector Hart believed the case was solved. The thread, the locked door, the confession, everything made sense. But then, he picked up the unfinished letter again. The last words read, "They know." Not "he knows," not "you know," but "they." Inspector Hart slowly looked toward the window, because if Bennett acted alone, then who were they?